Business 110. This is Abe Mielik here. So I've been doing some research on our Chapter 3 assignment, and what I am supposed to do is let you know my research and how it shall affect me. And so my research on the United States debt has shown that since 1965, the United States debt was has kind of flatlined. Like, it didn't get any bigger, didn't get any smaller, and I think that's because I feel like the World War II put America back on top because we sold war equipment and stuff like that to the other countries that were in war in the 1945. And if they didn't have enough money to buy the weapons and tanks and machinery that we were selling them, we said, that's okay, we'll give it to you now, just pay us back in gold. And so America got rich based off of that. And so afterwards, as our country started to sort of thrive a little bit, the debt was just nothing. There was nothing there, flatlined. And over time, it sort of began to rise as different people started to be elected as president, and different leaders came across our country and rose up and did different things to change our country and build our country. And so the debt has since risen since about 1975 on my chart that I'm looking at here. And I got these charts from Washington Post and usgovernmentdebt.com or .us. And so I believe they are fairly reliable. But you might ask yourself, who are we indebted to? And so I did some research on that, and America owes other countries banking systems. So the largest holder of our debt is China, Japan, and Belgium, and Caribbean banking centers and oil exports. So we've obviously spent a ton of money on oil that we haven't been able to pay off, so we are henceforth indebted to them. At least that's what my research has shown. And but anyways, so we are indebted to various foreign countries. And my research indicates that about 1975 is when the first debt jump started. And it kind of started as a little climb all the way until about 1990. And then it actually started to level out around 1995-ish and just kind of curve out and stabilize again. And then early 2000s just started right back up and started another gentle climb. And this one, though a little bit steeper than previous, but not very huge. But when the huge jump came was about a little bit before 2010, 2008, 9-ish, and on the chart, and the debt just jumped from billions to trillions and trillions. It's just huge. And I have a different chart on the Washington Post that suggests that Obama's electing is congruent to the time when the jump started, and America's debt just piled on. And so my conclusion is that the different presidents and the different leaders of our country have been promoting different things to build our country up, and so we've just been getting more and more in debt. And the latest cause of our huge debt is the election of President Obama and all the laws that he obviously passed that got us built up as a country even more. He just spent more money doing it. Now, next question: how would the debt affect me in the future? I think that's a very hard prediction, but there's obviously going to be more tax dollars have to be paid, and so my generation is going to have to pay more taxes than ever before in order to compensate. And thing about debt is if you don't have enough money to pay the debt, and we're not making enough money to pay the debt, if you don't have enough money to pay the debt, you have to forfeit your assets. And if this kind of path continues, America is eventually going to have to start forfeiting its assets, and that could lead all the way up to giving away land to other countries that own our debt. And so that's a huge problem for us. Our debt is not manageable at the moment. We need to bring it down. Do I think we can bring it down to a manageable debt and manageable size? I think we can. It's going to take some work, and it's going to take some changing of our entire country and the way it works right now, because where we're heading, there's almost no return. What will happen when we bring it down? I think that'll affect everybody positively, but at this point it's almost impossible to manage. I think one of the only things that we could do is go back to the gold standard and stop having to pay this fiat currency to these banking systems that we're indebted to, because we just don't have enough ability to get all this money that we're spending. And gold is worth thousands of times more than the dollar, so we obviously need to find a better way to get out of this debt ratio.